doing, guys? Welcome to the Friday Waffle. I'm actually recording this, I'm going to try and record a wee bit of this anyway. It's lunchtime on Friday. I'm just having my, I've just finished my lunch, but I get an hour, so I thought I'll do half an hour of the waffle. So yeah, the sun is shining. Hopefully it's going to be nice for the weekend, although I'm not convinced because the weather not even this week, the weather this year, especially in summertime, has just been absolutely awful. It seems to be, we don't get seasons anymore. All we get is rain, wind, lots of wind, and it's overcast virtually the whole time. But I've noticed in the last couple of weeks it's been miserable during the day, but it always seems to kind of get brighter at night, which I suppose, considering I work during the day, that's probably not a bad thing. But yeah, we've certainly not had any summer, so yeah, that's it. So anyway, before I start, you've probably seen my, not the surprise, but the thing that I've been waiting on eventually turned up 16 days later, coming from Netherlands, and that was the Ultimate 2 cartridge thing for my Commodore 64. Absolutely love it. It's certainly one of the best kind of modern day solutions for an old system I've ever seen. I mean, this thing is just incredible. Apart from making cups of tea, it does virtually everything else. So if you've got a C64, go and watch my video and then get a pre-order from Gideon. They really are absolutely fantastic hardware. Excuse me. Gaming wise, what have I been doing? Not playing any current gen games. What have I been playing? I've been playing something. Yeah, I've been playing quite a bit of my Commodore 64. We had our computer club night, which I decided to film and make a wee video of. I thought it was quite interesting to let people see just the kind of stuff that we actually do. So anybody that wants to come along, doesn't matter how far you live, if you want to come along to our club night, you're more than welcome. Yeah, games wise, I was actually playing my Game Boy Micro the other day there, and you know what, for it's probably the smallest usable games platform you could ever actually see. I mean, the screen is like absolutely minute, but it's a cracking little handheld, it really is. You know, for portable game playing, you're not going to beat it. One thing which I did get, which I'm going to like to see, bring it back for 2 secs, is, if I can find it, oh there it's up there. One of my mates actually gave me this thing for nothing. Now I was a bit surprised. I'm like, no, you must want something for it. He's like, no. You can just have it. Now it's this thing here. It's called the Game Gadget. Now it looks, let's open it up. The box itself looks really nice. You know, it lifts. Does it slide out? No, it doesn't. This bit, this flap. Yeah, this thing opens up like so. I don't know if you can see this. So it's really sort of professional looking. And here's the thing here. It looks kind of like a DS, Nintendo DS, similar size, slightly more plasticky feeling. It's got the sticks at the top. It takes an SD card. Now, like I said, I was surprised when my mate gave me it, and he said he didn't want anything for it. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't actually work at the moment, but he assures me that I can get it working. Now, I thought to myself, this looks awesome, but however, doing a wee bit of research, it turns out that they try to sell this thing as being the one-stop solution for all your kind of classic video games. I mean, it says here, Game Gadget, go anywhere, play everything, games console. Register your Game Gadget to download these 10 classic Sega games. Altered Beast, Shinobi, blah 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 blah. But what they're trying to sell this as being, they were going to set up a sort of shop, like an iOS app store type thing, where you could actually download every game. I think, looking at their website, they say something like 100,000 games, and you can download and play them legally. So, and it sounds perfect. It sounds really good. But according to what I've read, I mean, Amazon, I read the reviews. There was 11 reviews 9 of them gave it 1 out of 5, I think it is. Apparently they were fully all these promises, and they just simply never delivered. So I mean, my mate paid 12 quid for this, and you know, looking at it you think it looks really, really good, but ultimately, you know, a piece of hardware is only as good as its games, so it looks like a bit of a dead dodo, but I'll give it see if I can get it working and give it a shot. So anyway, listen, time is marching on. Where's my phone? What did I do with my phone? Who's seen my phone? Did it fall somewhere? Oh, I don't know where it's going. Anyway, doesn't matter. Don't know where I've put it. Right. I don't have any questions this week. Now that's possibly my fault. I didn't actually ask for any, but usually people ask questions regardless. But if anybody has asked a question and I haven't seen it, then I apologise now. But I did check last Friday's Waffle and I certainly couldn't see anything. So anyway, I've got a few things I want to talk about. Now, I do tend to repeat myself. As people probably were aware, my Friday Waffles were I was starting to dry up with stuff to talk about, and it's because, you know, it's quite difficult trying to always get something to talk about, and I've been doing these waffles now for I think over a year, and I got to the stage where I've probably exhausted anything to talk about other than maybe something that's just happened. So I'm kind of going to start revisiting some of the stuff I've spoke about in the past. Hopefully people don't find it too boring. So anyway, Steve Benway has recently put up a video. He has moved his gaming room from one room to another. Now he's moved his games collection from a larger room to a smaller room. Steve's currently studying for a degree, so his larger room is now his office. Looks really smart. But he's put his games collection into this smaller room now. Steve Benway has been collecting systems long before most people, so he has got a really, really, really impressive collection. You know, he's got some really obscure, sort of quite rare systems, including he's got the Jupiter Ace, but he's got a lot of really obscure systems. But he put a video out of his new games room, and you know, I mean, I know I've got a small games room. But Steve, he's got so much stuff. He's got, you know, he's got shelves literally from the floor to the ceiling, and he's just got all these systems jam packed in, and it's a really impressive collection. But it just got me thinking, when does a gaming collection get too big? Now that's a question that I've asked myself on quite a few occasions. I've always said that I'm not a collector. I don't collect systems per se just to collect. I collect them to buy, but recently that's probably not been true. I have been picking up some bits and pieces. I mean, I got my Sword M5, which is sitting there. It's sitting there in a box, unused since I picked it up. I do still pick up the occasional sort of like curio or machine that I've always wanted to own, but in the case of the M5 it'll probably never actually get used. But when does a collection get too big? I mean, I think I've got a reasonably sized collection, but compared to some people, Steve Benway and a few of my mates, it just pales into insignificance. But it always kind of saddens me. I mean, even looking at my own collection here, I mean, I've got Jaguar games, I've got Vectrex games, I've got Sega Saturn, I've got Atari 2600, I've got Wii U, I've got DS, 3DS games, I've got Saturn games, PS4 games, and I've got hundreds of Xbox 360 and what have you, PlayStation, Master System games. The more you have, the less you're going to actually use anything, and that kind of depresses me to a degree. You know, what's the point of having all this stuff if you're never actually going to play them? That's the dogs kicking off downstairs, as is par for the course. But yeah, it's I think when it gets to a stage that you're not playing anything, then that's probably when your collection's too big. Don't get me wrong, there are some people who, believe it or not, just collect for collecting's sake. You know, they buy all these games and they don't have they probably won't ever get around to playing them, and they probably buy them knowing that they'll never get to play them. But it always saddens me when I see these massive collections, especially when you see people selling, you know, shrink wrapped games that have never been opened. Video games were written to be played, not to sit on a shelf unused. It's like, you know, buying DVDs. Excuse me. Oh, pardon me. Buying DVDs or Blu-rays just to put on a shelf, you know, not to watch. You just want to display it. What's the point of that? Games and videos and films, whatever, are there to be enjoyed. So yeah, when does a game collection become too big? It becomes too big when you've got too many games and not enough time to play them. I mean, I'm 48 years old now. You know, I've had most of my life is now behind me, which is a very depressing thought. And I could probably play a new game every day until I kick the bucket. You know, that's quite a depressing thought. So, you know, you need to start thinking to yourself, I need to start cutting back. And, you know, don't get me wrong, there are times where I really think about I should maybe just sell my collection and just keep the stuff that I want to use. But right now, that's not something I'm going to do. I still enjoy being able to look at games. I mean, I'll look it up there. I've got my Virtual Boy. I've got my up there as well. What do you call it? I've got my Game Boy. It's a Neo Geo Color Pocket, whatever it's called. You know, all these systems that I simply don't use, and I really need to make a point of using them. So anyway, listen, that's enough of that. I'm going to pause it. Okay, right, Monkey Spaz 5000, he put up a sort of a question to the community. Have I bought something when drunk? I mean, I take it doesn't mean another drink. He's always referring to video games. Now that's an easy one for me because I don't drink. Yep, I might be Scottish, therefore I should be an excessive drinker, but no, I don't. I don't dislike alcohol. I do enjoy alcohol. I love going out with my mates now and again. I mean, I'm talking maybe once every 6 months to the pub and I'll get stupidly drunk. But me and my wife, we just simply don't. It's not something we would do in the house. We don't have a glass of wine on a Friday night. I don't have a couple of beers on a Saturday night. It's just something we don't do. I think because my wife works shifts, so she could be working a Saturday or Sunday morning. You know, it's not something that we think about doing. Probably because I run as well. I mean, I am getting back into my running as well. It's, you know, I don't want to have a hangover the following morning. But anyway, listen, I'm going off on a tangent. So yeah, to answer that, have I bought something when drunk? The answer is 100% no, because I've not been drunk for a long time. But it brings me on to something else, which is kind of relating to that, and it's buyer's remorse. I mean, what things have you bought in a spur of the moment? Now, I'm a very spontaneous person. If I see something that I want, it then becomes my kind of sole mission to get one, and whatever it might be, I tend to try and get it very quickly. It's probably not a particularly good habit because it can mean you buy stuff that you don't use. I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, what have I bought recently? I bought the, what was it called? I was flying to Stornoway in an aeroplane, as you tend to do when you fly. I was flying to Stornoway about 6 weeks ago, and it's on one of these wee 10-seater planes. So I was sitting next to this guy, and as you do, you get talking, and he was looking at his watch, and I says, "Oh, is that one of these Apple watches?" He says, "No, it's a Pebble." And this one he had was a colour one, and it looked really smart. So when I got back, I had a look, and lo and behold, I bought, where is it? I don't know what I've done with it. I bought a Pebble watch. Now I did get it for 50 quid, so it's not too bad. But I can't find the charger for it now, and it did sit beside that TV for the last month unused, and you know, I look at it and I think, what a waste. You know, I spent 50 quid on something and I don't use it. I mean, I'm trying to think what else. This video camera, or the digital camera which I record my videos on, I don't use it at all for taking pictures. I bought it for that, but it's now turned into my go-to machine for making videos for YouTube. So I suppose I do use that. But what other stuff have I bought? I bought the 3DS, never use it. Bought the PS Vita, never use it. You know, even my PS4. I mean, I do use my PS4 from time to time, so that's thing. But anyway, I'm kind of waffling off topic. What stuff have I bought in the spur of the moment? I remember seeing a video of the Pandora gaming console. I was watching a video late at night. I mean, it was really late at night. I was in my bed watching this video, had the earphones on, and I thought that looks amazing. And I went on to eBay, the eBay app on my phone, and I saw one. I think it was 180 quid, and I bought it. Buy it now. And then the following morning, you know, I got the email notification. You've still got to pay for this 180 quid, and I'm like, what? Bloody hell! Why did I go and buy that? But you know, saying that, I do love the Pandora, and I do use it. I've not used it for a wee while, but I do use it when I'm travelling, so I don't mind buying that. But yeah, buyer's remorse, that's slightly different. I mean, I'm talking about impulse buys, which I'm very guilty of. Buyer's remorse, for me, buyer's remorse kicks in when it's over £100. Anything below £100, the way I see it is I don't drink, I don't go out, because I've got a family and I don't really go out and socialise that much. You know, people will go out and spend easily £100 on a night out. So if I want to get something and it's 100 quid, I'll go and buy it. I don't get any buyer's remorse of any kind with something like that. You know, thing like the MAME cab, I mean, I did fund that through selling other stuff, but you know, anything maybe 200, 300, 400 quid, I do suffer from buyer's remorse. But then I always have to remind myself that, wait a minute, you work bloody hard, you don't spend a lot of money on yourself. Well, I do spend money on myself. If I want something, I go and buy it, but I don't play golf. I don't have an expensive membership for a golf club. I don't go to football. I don't have a season ticket for the football. My running doesn't cost me that much. Okay, when I go for races, it does cost a wee bit for hotels, but in the main, anything I spend, it's just, you know, a one-off eBay purchase type thing. So I don't really mind. I don't feel guilty, but I do get buyer's remorse, and then after it, you know, I'm okay. I mean, there's one thing that I've been fighting the urge to buy, and I think I've conquered it. And there's a camera that was doing the rounds on YouTube. Is it Nikon something 90? Now, this thing has got 83 times magnification zoom lens. Now Google it, because this camera is bloody incredible. I've seen videos of, I mean, there was one doing the rounds that went quite viral of somebody videoing the moon, and just from their house they'd actually zoomed right into the moon, and it's like looking through binoculars with the camera. It's absolutely astonishing. Excuse me, I saw another video of a guy, and he was looking at this town from, like, I think it was like 6-7 miles away, and you could practically see through the windows different houses. It's just phenomenal. And you know, I was thinking to myself, oh, I would love something like that, and it's 400 quid. And I was like, oh, I could buy it, and I thought to myself, no, if I buy it, it's no more than a glorified pair of binoculars now. It's not something I'd ever use, so I've managed to fight my urge to buy that, so I'm not going to be getting that. Something else which one of my mates was showing me last week, he managed to acquire a projector for nothing. Basically his employer was getting rid of it, and he wanted him to take it to the recycling place, so he recycled it into the back of his boot. And this thing is called a short throw projector, which basically means it sits about 1 foot, 2 foot from the wall, and it just throws the images up onto the screen. Really impressive. And that got me thinking, oh, I wouldn't mind something like that. But the thing is, I don't have any wall in the house that I can really use it, so I'll probably not get it. But for a good couple of days there, I was searching on eBay, Gumtree, seeing if anybody was selling a projector. So I'm very much an impulse buy person, you know. But saying that, I tend to, when I buy something, I do tend to kind of keep it, so it's not all bad. So anyway, going to pause it again. Okay, right, I can't make this waffle without mentioning something. Yesterday, the Commodore Amiga was 30 years old. Bloody hell, 30 years ago. I can't actually grasp. I can't grasp that something that... Oh yeah, there's my phone there. I'm actually sitting on it. Sorry, excuse me a second. Right, I've got 5 minutes before I need to stop this. And then I'll continue later on. Yeah, Amiga, Commodore Amiga. 30 years ago. I can't believe it's that long. I can, but it just, you know, honestly guys, anybody that's younger than me, which is probably everybody that's watching this, there is nothing truer than the older you get, the faster time goes. You never ever mentally get any older, but it's just this wee number called age that seems to go up. It seems to get even quicker when it's going up. Yeah, Commodore Amiga, my memories. I had my Commodore 64. I sold that, as you did back in the day. You couldn't afford to have more than one system. You had to always sell what you had to fund a new purchase. I sold my Commodore 64, got an Atari ST. Then I was watching Micro Live, which was a programme on BBC presented by Fred... I was going to say Fred West. That's that serial killer, not Fred West. What's his name? Fred. He was in Play School, which was an ancient programme that a few people might remember. Can't remember his second name. Anyway, Fred, it was a programme called Micro Live, and he announced at the very end of the programme, he announced that they had the latest Commodore machine. And they had this machine with a blanket over it, and they were going to, next week they were going to reveal this new machine, and that machine turned out to be the Commodore Amiga. And the most famous thing that you saw in Amiga back then, there was two things. The most famous was probably, in fact there was three things that really sold Amiga to me. There was the bouncing ball, what's it called, the bong demo or something. It was a bouncing ball, bouncing about, and what made it incredible was it was you had the shadows and the reflections and the light of this ball bouncing about. That was the most probably famous Amiga one. You also had the picture of Tutankhamun, which just a picture of his death mask, which looked incredible. And lastly there was the juggler, which was a wee robot, and he was basically juggling these balls, and what made it incredible was the light was reflecting off the balls. You could see the other balls reflecting in the other balls, if that makes any sense. So yeah, seeing these three things running, it was just, you knew that was the future. It's incredible. So I couldn't afford an Amiga, but there was a shop in Edinburgh called the Edinburgh Computer Shop, oddly enough, don't know what they sold. They were actually offering trade-ins. So I phoned them up, and I can't remember how much it was. I took my Atari ST along, and I think I had to pay something like £200 to get my Amiga. The first Amiga I got was the old Atari 800, not Atari 800, was the Commodore Amiga 500, complete with the big modulator, which was this big thing that used to stick out the back, so you needed about 6 square feet of space to actually set your Amiga up. So I had that. I think I eventually upgraded the memory in it. No, I didn't upgrade the memory in it. Eventually I sold it, and then I bought another one again, and then I eventually bought, what did I buy? I bought an Atari, I bought an Amiga 1200, I got the disk drive, I even got a hard drive in it, I got the printer. I had that for a number of years. Then I sold that and got a PC. Then I think I eventually, did I then buy an Atari 600? I can't remember, but anyway, that's kind of where I was. I've now got an Atari 1200. Why am I saying Atari? I've got a Commodore 1200, Amiga 1200, and I think I've got an Atari 500, and I've also got an Atari 600 up in the loft. But anyway, yeah, highlights. Games which I loved in the Amiga. Now I've actually been playing the Amiga a wee bit recently, and one thing that kind of staggers me, blows me away, is just how amazing the music was, or is. It's probably the last kind of SID chip computer that was out there, but the quality of sound is just incredible. But favourite games for me, one of my favourite games would definitely be Sensible Soccer. Just an absolute stonewall classic. I'm not a football fan at all. I would go so far as to say I would actually avoid watching football on TV. Don't mind watching international football, but I don't like soccer. But I love sensible soccer. It's such a pick up and play game. I mean, me and my mates, my brother-in-law used to come up to my house and we used to play this, and he used to always barely beat me. But then a guy I used to work with, what we used to do is we used to play, we set up a league at Sensei Soccer, and we would play the games that you had to play. We would save it, and then I would take the disc in the following day, give it to him, he would play his games, and then save it, and then give the disc back to me. So we kind of had like an almost postal Sensei Soccer tournament, but Sensei Soccer is just an incredible game. Other memorable games, I mean, Star Glider 2, absolute awesome game. The sound effects is just incredible. You know, it was kind of 3D, and you know, when you compare that from you know, 8-bit machines, it was the future. But the sound to me for the Amiga was really the big thing. I mean, it was a step up from the Atari ST. I remember when I first got the Amiga, I was a bit disappointed because a lot of the ports, or a lot of the games that I had, were simply Atari ST ports, and they weren't that good. But once they started actually putting the resources and making specific Amiga versions, you know, what a machine, absolutely awesome machine. But God, my mind's gone completely blank when I try and think of games that I loved in the Amiga. So many. I mean, the Elite, the original, I was never into Frontier that much, but the original Elite, filled polygon graphics, just astonishing. Hybris, one of my favourite shooters of all time. Rainbow Islands, Bubble Bobble, bloody hell, not Rainbow Islands, I didn't like Rainbow Islands. You know what, I can't even think of the games, my mind's just going a complete blank. But you know, Amiga is such an incredible machine. 30 years old, dearie me, where has the time gone? So anyway, listen, that is that. The very last thing I'm going to talk about, it's going to be quite a short waffle, you'll be pleased to hear, because I've not got any questions really to answer. I read today that the film Pixels, if anybody's not heard of it, Google it now, go into YouTube, or just come out of my video just now and type in Pixels. It's a video game, or it's a film based around video games, starring Adam Sandler. Now apparently it was released in the States this week, and it has been universally panned, big style. It's been getting, as it Rotten Tomatoes gave it 1 out of 10. It's been getting a 1 out of 10 from most sites. It's been panned stupidly. Now, I've seen the trailer, and I've got to say, I quite like I like where they're going with this sort of like the big Pac-Man. He's all kind of glowing. It's quite smart. Now, I've not seen the film apart from the trailer, but what it seems to be is that it's all the video game characters are kind of basically trying to take over the world, and it's down to Sadler and co. He's apparently an ex-video game champion. It's down to Adam Sandler and co to kind of try and defeat these. And when I watched the trailer, I kind of thought to myself, they're missing a trick here. It would have been, it would have probably been far better to actually have goodies and baddies. You know, Pac-Man was a goodie. We could have had the ghosts from Pac-Man maybe trying to take over the world, and Pac-Man would come and save. He would come and save the Earth. Maybe having Donkey Kong, you know, trying to kidnap a real life, what's her name? Not bloody Peach. Daisy? Is it Daisy? No, it's not Daisy. I can't bloody remember. Who does Donkey Kong kidnap? Mario's, or Jumpman as he was called back in Donkey Kong, kidnapping Mario's girlfriend. But yeah, we could have had a pixelated Donkey Kong coming to kidnap Mario's girl, and then the pixelated Mario, through help of Sadler and co, could have you know, tried to save her. Yeah, I think they've maybe missed the point a wee bit with it. But yeah, it was a bit disappointing to hear that it's meant to be shite. However, the closing sentence in this one particular review that I read has actually made me think, oh, I might actually enjoy it. What he says here is, this movie isn't for today's teens, it's for dudes born in the 1960s who never let go of their joysticks, i.e. guys like myself and you probably. So yeah, I'm actually glad to hear it's not for today's teens, because it would have been crap if it had been. You know, just try watching American Pie. It's not great films back in my day were Porky's, Animal House, Bachelor Party. I just can't wear all these kind of current teeny bopper type films, you know, like I says, American Pie and that kind of stuff. The in-betweeners, nah, not for me. But anyway, yeah, so I'm delighted to hear it's not been made for today's teens, but it will appeal to old farts like myself. So yeah, I'll probably go and see it in the pictures, I dare say, whenever it's out. I mean, it's out in the States now. If any of my American viewers have actually seen it, please let me know what you think of it. Is it any good? Stick your comments below. And that is it. Yeah, that's it guys. It's a shorter than usual Friday Waffle, but I don't see any point in talking about stuff just for the hell of it. Yep, delighted I managed to get Tony Temple's Blimey It's Only out there. I've done a bit of a sneaky. I did record the full thing in one go, all 3.5 hours worth, believe it or not. And that didn't even count the hour that I spent trying to get the thing working. But YouTube only allow you to upload a maximum of 2 hours per video, so I've had to chop it in half. So I've actually got part 2, which has got some interesting stuff in it, which I'll not say any more other than go and watch it. I will be posting that on Sunday night, and there are also going to be some links below it as well, which you definitely need to go and check out. But like I says, go and watch it, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But yeah, I was absolutely delighted with how the interview went. Yeah, it's a long interview, and you know, it's possibly a bit dry for some people. If people are expecting to see Tony playing Missile Command and getting big scores, then that wasn't the point of the interview. It was to really find out the intricacies of how world champions like Tony, world high score champions, how they prepare, what it is they do, what they think about stuff. But I've had a lot of good feedback about it. I'm delighted with how it went, and I know Tony, he was happy to do it. So anyway, yep, that's it guys. It's Friday. If you're watching this on Friday, I hope you have a really nice weekend. I've got no plans. My wife's working both days, so I'm not got any money. So me and my daughter will probably play some video games and take the dogs out for a walk, something like that. But as usual guys, thanks for watching. Please put down some comments if you have anything, if you've got any questions for next week. Before I forget, Brian was asking about me doing a live question and answer session. Now I did say that if there was enough interest I would do it. Now 2 people to me isn't enough interest. Unfortunately, I would love to do it with Jamie and Brian, who were both up for it, but I don't think it would work with just 3 people. What it would, one thing I could maybe put to you guys, if you were willing to come on Skype, we could have a 3-way Skype call. If you guys wanted to do that, let me know. We can have a crack at it. What to do is you need to give me your Skype username. We can have a crack at it. It'd be interesting to get together and have a chat about some stuff. But as far as me doing a question and answers thing, I think I'd look a bit of a dick, because I'd be sitting there, you know, probably, you know, nobody to talk to. So anyway, listen, that's it. Like I said guys, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you for all your support as usual. Have a fantastic weekend, and as usual, thank you so much for watching.